Once upon a time, in a busy city filled with laughter, footsteps, and the gentle hum of daily life, there lived a girl named Mia. Mia was not like the other children in her school. In her own eyes, she was the invisible girl. She moved through the world as quietly as a whisper and as softly as a breeze. People rarely noticed her, not because she did not want to be seen, but because she did not know how to let herself shine. Mia's days began just like everyone else's. She would wake up to the sound of her mother preparing breakfast in the kitchen. The scent of toast and eggs would drift into her small room, inviting her to start another day. But unlike her little brother, who would run into the kitchen, laughing and chatting about his dreams, Mia would slip quietly into her seat, waiting for someone to notice her. At school, Mia watched her classmates with wide, curious eyes. She listened to their stories, their laughter, and their playful arguments. She admired the way some children raised their hands with confidence, unafraid to share their answers with the class. Sometimes, Mia knew the answer too, but her voice would get lost before it ever reached her lips. She wondered how it would feel to speak out loud and have everyone turn to listen. One afternoon, as the golden sunlight spilled into her classroom, Mia's teacher, Ms. Bennett, announced a special project. Each student was to prepare a short story and present it to the class. The project was meant to help everyone practice their speaking skills and encourage them to use new English words they had learned. Mia's heart skipped a beat. The idea of standing in front of the class made her palms sweat. She feared that no one would listen, or worse, that they would not even notice she was there. That night, Mia sat at her desk, staring at her blank notebook. The words she wanted to say danced in her mind, but her fear kept her silent. As days passed, Mia watched her classmates prepare their stories. Some worked in groups, helping each other with pronunciation and grammar. Others practiced in front of mirrors, using big gestures and silly voices. Mia felt a pang of loneliness, wishing she could join them, but afraid she would not fit in. One evening, Mia's mother noticed her daughter's worried face. Gently, she asked, "What's on your mind, Mia?" At first, Mia hesitated, but her mother's warm eyes encouraged her to speak. Quietly, Mia explained the project and her fear of speaking in front of the class. Her mother smiled and drew her close. "You have a beautiful voice, Mia. Sometimes it just needs a little practice to grow strong. Why don't you tell me your story? I will listen, and we can practice together." Inspired by her mother's kindness, Mia decided to write a story about a little bird who wanted to sing but was afraid no one would hear her song. With every word she wrote, Mia imagined what it would feel like to be brave, to let her voice rise above her fear. Each evening, Mia read her story to her mother. At first, her voice was soft and shaky, but with gentle encouragement, she grew more confident. Her mother helped her with difficult words, taught her how to pause for effect, and reminded her to smile and make eye contact. Mia learned that speaking aloud was not about being perfect, but about sharing a piece of herself with others. The day of the presentations arrived. Mia's heart pounded as she waited for her turn. She watched as her classmates stood before the class, some nervous, some excited. When Ms. Bennett called Mia's name, the room grew quiet. For a moment, Mia felt invisible again. But then, she remembered the little bird in her story and the way her mother had believed in her. Mia took a deep breath and began. Her voice was soft at first, but as she spoke, she remembered the words she had practiced, the pauses, the smiles. She looked up and saw her classmates watching her, their eyes wide with curiosity. As she reached the end of her story, her words grew stronger, and she finished with a proud, clear voice. The classroom erupted in applause. For the first time, Mia felt seen. Her teacher praised her for her creativity and courage, and her classmates told her how much they enjoyed her story. In that moment, Mia realized that being invisible was not about others not seeing her. Sometimes, it was about not allowing herself to be seen. With a little courage and support, she could let her own light shine. From that day on, Mia began to participate more in class. She raised her hand, shared her ideas, and even helped others with their English stories. She discovered that the more she practiced speaking, the easier it became. Her confidence grew, and so did her circle of friends. Mia's journey teaches us that everyone feels invisible sometimes, especially when learning a new language or trying something new. But with practice, patience, and a little support, anyone can find their voice. Speaking English like telling a story is not just about using the right words. It is about sharing who you are and being brave enough to let others see you. As you listen to Mia's story, think about your own journey with English. Maybe you feel shy or afraid to speak, worried that others will not understand. Remember Mia, the invisible girl who became brave. Practice a little every day. Read stories aloud. Talk to friends or family. And do not be afraid to make mistakes. Each word you speak is a step toward finding your own voice. Learning a language is a journey, not a race. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. With time, you will discover that the best way to improve your English speaking skills is simply to keep sharing your stories, one word at a time.